Welcome to First Time for Everything, a podcast for curious people. I'm your host, Danny Elliott. I've toured the world as a backing vocalist for some of the biggest names in music, owned a prop rental business, ran a vintage boutique out of a camper I renovated, and I've had a lot of firsts in my life. I created this podcast in hopes of inspiring you to take a chance on something you've been wanting to try for the first time. We're going to discover a lot of really cool stuff together, and I'm so happy you're here. Hi, first timers. We've got a fun one today featuring the super talented Robert Rumsey. Rob and I met while we were touring with Miley Cyrus on her Bangers tour, me as a backing vocalist and him as a makeup artist. He is a total gem of a human and has created iconic looks for people such as Billie Eilish, Carly Rae Jepsen, Natasha, Lyonne, and so many more. Rob and I talk about not feeling successful until he was 50 and how we even measure success in the first place, how much a magazine cover actually pays, you will be shocked, the trust he's built through truly collaborating with his clients, and the reality of being a celebrity makeup artist. This is First Time Touching a Famous Person's Face with Robert Rumsey. We are here with Rob Rumsey today. I'm so excited.
I am too. I haven't seen you since 2013.
Somewhere around there. Because when we met on, for everyone listening, Rob and I met on Miley's Bangers tour, and you did my makeup a couple of times, but you were mostly doing Julia, the other backup singer's makeup.
Yeah.
But we have spent a lot of time together in that room, in those chairs. But yeah, it's been a hot second. I can't believe it's been so long since that tour.
I know. That tour prepared me for so much, though, moving forward, because it was like, I mean, that tour was a literal carnival.
It really was.
Of characters. Like, there were 2 models, 3 twerk dancers. There were 6 or 8 choreography type of dancers.
Yeah.
There was a 6'7" trans woman.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a little person.
Mm-hmm.
And most people have never toured on that tour except for the background singers and the backup, like, choreographed dancers. So it was like a culture shock for almost everyone on that tour. And then the other hair person. It was just like, it was so fun. I grew up so poor. I never got to travel the world. And I got to see the world on that tour, except for really Asian continents, and African continent. But it was a tour. It
was wild for sure. I mean, you guys were working your asses off on that tour. Like, it was so much work for you guys. I feel like we had it relatively easy in that we just sat there. You guys beat our faces. We warmed up in the hotel beforehand, did our sound check. But I feel like crew, like all-encompassing crew, is always like the hardest working on any tour, for sure.
It also taught me, because I was a newer freelance makeup artist, meaning I was older, but I worked at a beauty counter, and then I went freelance, and like my best friend she's still my best friend, Danica, did Miley's makeup, and that's how I got on the tour.
That's right. Yeah. So how did you, when did you realize makeup was something you wanted to make a career out of?
Well, when I was really little, I was always intrigued by it, because my sister had really good skin. It was just, she was covered in freckles, and she would cover her freckles.
No. My best friend used to do the same thing.
This was in the 80s. So like, I'm 52. So, and I would just think, oh my God, even as a little in the closet, and I was 2 years younger, I would I was so enamored with makeup. And I would watch people do, like my sister do makeup, and I would think, oh my God, you're like, the best part of you is your skin. And like, if I was her, or if I could say something, I would say this. And I would see girls in school, and I would think the same thing, like, oh no, like, you know what I mean? Like, because you can't see yourself, especially at that age.
Yeah.
Um, and then, but I painted when I was younger, and I
Oh,
thought
okay.
I thought I was going to go to art school, and then I didn't, and I had a turbulent early 20s, and then I got sober at 25, and then I just dilly-dallied around for like a decade. Like I was so insecure and had such low self-esteem, and I didn't think that makeup was a vibe. I didn't think like you could be a makeup artist. I would see like Kevin and Kwan and stuff like that on
Love.
TV,
Yeah.
but I didn't think that like I could ever do it. And then I got a job at a Mac counter, and I grew really quickly within the company in terms of artistry side,
Mm.
because I just listened to everyone, and I sat every person down at a counter, regardless if they were going to buy something or not. When young people that want to be makeup artists are like, what do I do? I'm like, get a job at a makeup counter. You get paid being there, and you get to practice on every skin tone, every skin texture, every
Yes.
age. You get to work with other makeup artists and learn tips and tricks for them, and you get to build your kit. So
Mm.
basically, that's how I was more interested in the makeup part and the making people feel good part than I was about the selling part.
Mm.
But I sold really well because I didn't put things on people that they wouldn't use, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah.
So that's
And you
how it
made people
happened.
feel good. If you feel good, you want to get the things that make you feel good.
And also, like, I feel good
Mm-hmm.
because even today, when I'm doing makeup, I'll be like, oh my God, I love this. As I'm working on somebody, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's all just like makeup. It's nothing that serious.
Yeah.
So I get very excited when things look good, meaning when people still look like themselves, but
Mm.
a little elevated version of themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, which I think you're so great at doing. I think you look at your, kind of book of work, and I feel like that's exactly what you do. With Billy, with Carly Rae Jepsen, like anything I've seen. I was like poking around on your website. Obviously, we follow each other on Instagram, and I've been just watching your work over the years, and I'm like, everybody just looks like the best version of themselves. It doesn't look like, you know, we're trying to like contour everyone to the gods and change the shape of
No.
people's bone structure and you
But I
know
also have to credit my clients for that too,
mm,
because I work a lot in music, but now I'm venturing more into. I just got an ask. I got a text, like it's up in the corner. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I just got an ask for somebody for the Golden Globes.
that's exciting.
Natasha Lyonne.
Oh my gosh, love her.
I love her.
She's so great.
So I'm venturing more into acting. I want to
Okay.
work with actors, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so like more beauty stuff or like on film, like
No,
on a
no, no,
movie
like red
set or
carpet photo
red
shoots and stuff.
carpet. Okay.
Because I love basically make music, makeup and music gave me a career. I was so lucky. I got a call. I didn't really have an agent, and then I was doing the Bangers tour
And
right
that's
before.
when Danica called you.
Yeah,
So, okay,
but
so you didn't have an agent before
I
then.
had one, but they
Oh,
weren't
okay.
very good.
Got it.
And they took a big percentage of everything I made from Bangers, but I got the job. You know what I mean? It wasn't
Yeah.
like somebody getting me a job. It was like I didn't know how to ask for money, so I had somebody
Mhm.
that would ask for money with the jobs I already had.
Mm.
And then I got home and I didn't have any clients. You are one of the people, and I think it was you and Sarah said tour life is not. No, it was you and it was Bianca Bruton. Tour life is not real life. And it was my first tour. And I came home and I was like, oh my God, it's really not. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, no, it's like it's such a high, right? Like you're getting to experience things that people would only dream of experiencing, right? And like you said, we got to see almost the entire world with the exception of Asia and Africa, and you're getting to work with like this incredible artist, be a part of something that is like pop culture. It's in everyone, like everyone knows that it's happening and you're a part of it, right? um and you're getting paid to do this, And then it's the same thing for musicians. The minute you go home, there's no work because everyone's like, oh, they're on the road. So I'm not going to call them. I'm going to call someone else. And you just come back to nothing. And it's like you have to financially plan for that dead time. And you don't know how long it's going to be until that next phone call, that next client is like, hey, can you come beat my
It
flutes?
was,
Like,
and also like what people don't talk about, which is, it sounds so ridiculous, but if you've been on tour, you know, like you also have to make your own bed.
Mhm.
You also have to figure out where you're going to eat,
Yeah.
and then you have to pay for the food. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Nobody's giving you an envelope of cash once a week.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's just like, and then everyone wants, you're decompressing,
Mm,
and everyone wants to talk about the tour because obviously, in that tour was like probably one of the most iconic tours because it was so
sure.
different than anything that was going on.
Yeah.
And it was so layered.
Hmm.
And everyone wanted to talk about it when I got home because they were so excited for me, my friends. But it was like, I don't want to sound negative, but it's literally like Groundhog's Day.
Yeah. You're in it all day. The last thing you want to do is talk about work,
Well, also like people are like, you must have been obsessed with Italy. And I'm like, I didn't leave my hotel room because we were only in Milan and I heard that Milan wasn't that fun. So I saved that energy for Copenhagen. You know what I
Copenhagen
mean?
was great.
Yeah.
I
So
loved it.
anywho, yeah. And there was no work. My friend Denica switched agents
Hmm.
to a really good agent. And that agent called me. Well, I had another agent and
Hmm.
was like, hey, there's this girl that needs makeup tomorrow. And it's blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. Would you be down? And I'm like starving for work. And I'm like, absolutely.
Yes.
And that was the first time I ever worked with Billy.
I love it. I love it. Little baby Billy. Bet what was this like 2015, 14? 'Cause I feel like that's when her first couple of like
I
singles
think
and
it was like
EP came out.
I think it was like 2017.
Okay. Yeah.
What year are we? Yeah,
20.
2017.
Yeah.
2017 or 18. I'd have to like go back on my, but it was the first time working with her. She was lovely. And we don't work together all the time now, but I love her.
She
Like
seems so cool.
she's just a sweet. I was so lucky. It just happened to be, and like she liked me, and the opportunities I got working with her
Mm.
were just. I mean, they fought for me to do things that normally somebody wouldn't be able to do. If
Mm.
that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I know
Like
exactly what you mean.
even other artists were like, I can't believe you got that cover. And I can't believe that you had a client that would just be like, no, I want this person. And like British Vogue, like that's a dream. Even before then, like Vogue China, like working with Nick Knight, who's like iconic. It was amazing.
I mean, well,
Oh,
firstly, you deserve it, but I think, like you were saying earlier, it's hard when you are interested in doing something, but you maybe don't have like the full belief in yourself yet. And to have other people see that something in you and validate it and like fight for you when other people could easily have that opportunity, it's like it's such a gift. And but you've been working so hard towards those things. It's like you fully deserve it, but it's so great when you have a client who like really respects
yeah.
you, or a boss that's just like, no, I want this person. Like I've had a couple of opportunities like that professionally too, and it's just like the best part.
I mean, I worked hard for it.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of her career, I was declined from like, I didn't do American Vogue and just a lot of other jobs because
Yeah.
she wasn't as big then and she couldn't make, and also like it's her first time doing things. It's like you
Yeah.
don't want to, I don't didn't expect that. Yeah, I was bummed a few times, but like not at her or her team
Yeah.
or my team or anything like that. My career didn't get big in other people's eyes until I was 50.
Which, by the way, I love so much. I mean, I'm sure you're like, fuck. Like, like there are things definitely in my career as well that I'm like, I should have done this earlier, should have, whatever, right? But it's like, I love seeking out and hearing stories of people who just didn't like make it at 20.
Just any of the people I work with.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine the pressure. I don't care what level other people think you're on.
Mm.
Because the truth is we're all working for somebody.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's an actor, it's a studio, it's this, it's that. If it's a musician, it's a label, it's their reputation. I can't imagine. I wasn't prepared for it until I was 50, to be honest. 49, 50. Also, like, how do I explain this? What is even like success? Like, success, what people think is success is that cover. A magazine cover pays either $0 or 200. The biggest
Really?
magazine, it doesn't matter who you are.
So why is that?
It's just industry standard.
It's like the exposure is the payment.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you own a cosmetic line and you're the biggest makeup artist in the world. It is what it is.
Wow.
Like 250, I think, is the most. And so people see that. They think I'm making thousands of. I live in an apartment in LA. A lot of who you think are really successful makeup artists or hairstylists, we still live in apartments. You know what I mean? Like, so I think people think like, if you did this, you must have that.
Sure. Oh yeah, for sure.
So success for me has, I mean, my apartment's nicer now than it was when I got back from the Bangers tour. And I have like maybe nicer lamps, you know what I mean? And more art on my wall or whatever, like a bigger flat screen or whatever. My biggest joy was buying an automated kitty litter box.
I love cat dadding, number one. I love it.
I mean, it's like a game changer.
Yeah.
But like, I don't do it. I never did it I grew up so poor. So it's not like, it's nice to be able to like this summer or early October, I was able to rent a beautiful lake house for 5 days.
Nice.
And have my sister come and her husband. So like, those are things I like to spend my money. Like, I don't have a fancy car. The experience of doing the shoot was better than any photo could. I mean, the photos were most of the times are pretty amazing, but it's like, I can't believe I'm on set with like Patty Wilson, who's a huge stylist, or Dina, who's a huge stylist, and they're treating me like an equal, and they're asking, we're talking about the kind of makeup instead of somebody be like, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those things are cool.
Yeah. It's like the collaboration is the success.
Yeah. And like,
Part
I
of
mean,
it.
like Nick Knight is one of the biggest photographers. And you remember how much Diet Coke I drank?
Yes. Yeah.
I go in and touch up my client and I spilt Diet Coke on the set.
Oh no.
A white set.
Do you still drink Diet Coke? Oh my God. Anyone listening, he's doing it right now.
Yeah, like, so I'm super lucky. I'm super blessed. It's also hard work and it's not as glamorous as people think. And it's like, I think people look at Instagram and think it's real life. I don't post a lot of my personal life on Insta stories. I'll post my cats. I also make a concerted effort not to floss online.
Sure.
Because the truth is, we can all make our lives look so different than they are on Instagram. But I live in an apartment. I drive a little Mazda, but I could photograph things that make you think that it's way different. Like, it's way more fabulous.
Yeah.
Like, I could take a photo of a corner of my apartment and you think I live in this, like, you know what I mean? And I'm not about that.
Yeah. When
I see other people do it and I know their truth behind the Instagram, it's kind of like my makeup. I like things to be pretty, but I don't like them to, like, I don't like the word transformation. Like, can you transform? Like, why would I transform her? She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
What's the transformation?
Yeah.
Unless it's a character, or unless like you're doing drag, or unless it's like an avant-garde shoot. I'm not, why would to tell somebody that I'm going to transform them is insulting to me.
Yeah.
For me, like, saying that to a woman, like, hey, I'm going to transform you. It's like, what, isn't this version good?
Yeah. Oh, no, totally. I mean, I think you had mentioned Kevin Aucoin earlier. Like, I feel like he was such a master of that, but it was for artistic purposes. It wasn't like to make you forget who you are. I've also noticed too, just with the Instagram thing and, kind of like a flossing and stuff, I know, the people who I know in entertainment who are the most successful post the least because they're too busy doing the work,
Hmm.
you know? And they post kind of the most like basic stuff, and it's nothing really crazy because they're just like, I'm actually too busy like doing the job.
Also, there are some clients that like you to photograph everything behind the scenes. I
Sure.
don't have those clients.
Mm,
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
also it makes me uncomfortable to be like, let's do this. I mean, I have a couple that are down for it, but like I'm not holding the camera.
Yeah.
If you notice that I do silly BTS.
Hmm.
I don't like to be photographed myself. I never have. So I don't want to like get somebody ready and then do like a mini shoot before they have to go out and like stand it.
Yeah.
It's most of my clients, it's not their vibes either,
Yeah.
which makes it a good harmonious thing because I'm not trying to like milk them for everything that they're worth.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like sometimes it's authentically fun.
Mm.
Like with Natasha, it was fun. And with like this client I work with, Mina Kim,
Hmm.
who's in Pachenko,
Oh,
she's
okay.
she's so sweet. She's Korean and she lives in Korea. And then she films in Canada. And then she comes here for like a couple days and we try to bust out a whole bunch of press.
Hmm.
Um, like we do funny things, like I'll give her my tiny hands and we'll do like a whole like BTS photo shoot. Like she'll be holding the purse and all you see is the tiny, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because I like things to be fun.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I remember having so much fun with you in the beauty room, like whatever you want to call it, like ground zero for all
It
that
was
hair and
legit ground
makeup.
zero.
Yeah, we had such a blast in there. What was your first time doing a celebrity's makeup? Was that with Miley?
No,
No.
it was, I mean, the first time
Hmm.
ever was when I worked at the Mac Pro store on Robertson, Sybil
Sibbles.
Shepherd.
Oh my gosh, really?
She just came in to buy blush. And so she was the first, and she sat down and wanted me to do stuff to her. So she was like the first one.
What's that like? Because I have a few friends who are makeup artists, and I always think like it must be so crazy to have seen someone so many times and then just be like touching their face.
It was so weird. Because I was just working at a Mac counter on Roberts. It was like a premiere one though.
Hmm.
So it was on Robertson where like the Ivy and all that stuff was, and
Oh,
all
sure.
paparazzi would come. And
Hmm.
it was just like she just kept telling me more blush like a clown. And so I did, and that it was when I fell in love with blush because
Mm.
especially as we age and if you stay out of the sun, you lose coloring in your face. And I mean, I've had so many clients be like, okay, chill on the blush, but it just looks so she made me fall in love with blush. And then, oh gosh, what's her name too? She's like the biggest actress right now. She's on White Lotus.
Oh, Aubrey Plaza,
No,
the
the
redhead.
star, the star.
Uh, I'm trying to think.
Jennifer
So,
Coolidge.
oh, Jennifer Coolidge, yes.
She would come in all the time.
Oh my God, love her.
Then she was still successful, but it was like after she did all of those other movies, the other funny movies like
Hmm.
Best in Show and stuff.
I
And she would
just
come
watched
in
that
and
the other night. She's so great.
she would come in and she would just sit down at our counter and we would just she would tell us the funniest stories while we would touch her up. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
she brought in a natural ease to it.
Mm.
So yeah, like women like that. And then when I went freelance, I did Kelly Osbourne a few times, who was a sweetheart because Danica, who was my best friend, we both worked at the Met Counter together and she left before me. She had the celebrity clients, and if she couldn't do them, I would do them. So I did Miley a few times because Danica couldn't. She was booked on something else. And then I got the Bangers tour because of Danica.
Hmm.
And then we have different types of clients now, but also like we both love beauty, if that
Mm.
makes sense. So
Yeah.
like Danica gave me more opportunities than anyone other than my current agent.
I mean, I feel like there's always that, or I don't know, in my experience professionally too, it feels like there's someone who is kind of like the Kickstarter for things. And I actually, the last episode I did was with that person, Stevie Alexander. I think you actually met her because we did Chelsea Handler, the last, like the
Yes.
series wrap up. And I think you maybe did her makeup for that. But she was that for me. Like we met on Craigslist and when I was like 22. And she has always contracted gigs. And she just started like hiring me for like little TV spots like here and there, and then like putting me on tours and stuff. And it's like she was really the catalyst for me to meet so many other people in the industry. And I think it's so beautiful when you have someone like that in your life who wants to take
No,
you with them, you know?
we spend Christmas Eve. Danica and I are like this. Like, I can't make my fingers. We're
Any tighter.
we're like brother and sister, but also to pat ourselves on the back.
Hmm.
It's because we're good at what we do and we're loyal and we don't try to fuck people over.
Yeah.
Sorry for the F word.
No.
Like, I've never tried to steal one of her clients.
Hmm.
Back in the day, if I would do a client and they would say something to me, like after I'm done, I call her, I'm like, oh, this is how it went. And
Yeah.
da, 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 da. Like, because it's not like that anymore though. I mean, not with us, but just in general, it's just like, if I can't do a client, it's not that I get stressed out like somebody's going to try to steal them, but it's just like I need somebody that's going to be appropriate.
Yeah.
Whatever the appropriate doesn't mean like button down and da 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 da. It just means I need them to be able to vibe with them and not like do any weird shit or
They're an extension of you.
yeah.
They're
So
representing you. Yeah.
and also like I have to make sure my client's taken care of.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I even hate saying client. Like a lot of people used to say like, oh my God, you're Billy's client. I'm like, no, I'm not. I do her makeup.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
nobody's mine.
Hmm.
Like nobody's mine.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I get to work.
Hmm.
And I also think like people should experience different makeup artists, different hair people, different styling. Like I don't own anyone. And what I'm doing is I'm showing up. I'm doing the best of my ability. I'm
Hmm.
trying to make my client happy before my ego. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, and when it's a magazine, I'm still if I do a magazine, I'm usually a celebrity request,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not coming from the magazine. So like, I always have to make sure I have my client's best interest at heart.
Yeah.
Because there's been so many times where like magazines are like, well, we want her to do this. Can you try to push this? And I'm like, I tell my clients everything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, hey, I'm not saying we should do this. I'm just saying this is what they're saying to me. I know we're not going to do it.
Mm.
I just have to tell you what they're trying to tell me
Yeah.
because they're not like models.
Mm.
They can model,
Yeah.
but they're not like selling. None of my clients are here to sell anything other than their music,
Yeah.
their talents.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I've always been good with that.
Yeah. That's so interesting. You said, because I was going to ask you about that, like if how you kind of navigate when someone requests something that you don't feel is like a good look for them, or 'cause it also seems like you have an opportunity to really help someone kind of create their brand because you're creating this look. And I know it's kind of like a disjointed two-part question, but you kind of answered the first one by talking about just having clear lines of communication with your client and like what someone is asking and whether or not you think that's good for them. But in terms of helping them kind of build their brand in a way, like how do you conceptualize that? Is that also, seems like it's really collaborative, but do
It's
you
really
ever kind of?
collaborative. Also happen to have been fortunate enough to work with really strong women
Mhm.
that their appearance is important, but like I work with singers that like are songwriters. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, so I've never worked with anyone that's like machiney.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like even the younger women I work with, even when they were 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, they're always like, I'm not doing that. Or I
Mm.
want this. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm here to facilitate what they want. And
Yeah.
if they have a question or if they want to try something, like I'm totally down. But like, it's not like I don't have an opinion. It's also like their comfort and I know how they want to look. They tell
Yeah.
me how they want to look. You know what I mean? They're not like, do this here and this there. It's not like that. But it's like, I know, like just working with Natasha, I'm like, oh, why don't we try this? And she's like, okay. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like if they don't like it, they could say, ooh, maybe less there. Or
Yeah.
I'm not like one of those people that are like, I do somebody's makeup away from the mirror and I turn them around and I'm like, surprise. It doesn't matter. I also have non-celebrity clients, friends for years that are successful business women. And if they're not in front of a mirror, there's a mirror in their hand that I give them.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Oh, I trust that it will be great. I'm not into that. Like I need you to love what you look like from point A to the end. Yeah. Because it's not my face. It's just, I have a lot of makeup and some skills.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean that as a woman, that is a dream for sure, to just not feel like you were saying earlier, like you're just trying to transform someone. It feels like this team effort really to just elevate what you already have.
Yeah. And like, I love Doja Cat's makeup artist, obsessed. Whoever's doing her, I don't know. Well, I know one of the guys that does. I don't know him, but I DM'd him. I'm like, I love your work. They do really cool makeup, but you always see Doja, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like they're not, she's recognizable in any type of makeup. It's just so cool and it rocks. And my friend Sarah Tanna, who does Gaga, it's just like, and Danica, like she's a red carpet slayer. You know what I mean? But the women always look like themselves.
Yeah.
And in real life, they look like the photos that she does the makeup so well that in real life they look airbrushed but never cakey.
Yeah.
It's just like everyone has a different vibe. Mine is a little more raw and less prissy, if that makes sense. It's just always been my vibe. I've always liked, even like watching fashion shows that were a little more raw. And I don't really love lashes that much. Women take care of their skin so much better now because there's access because of YouTube, and women are like, they're just taking care of their skin. And so it's like you use less makeup and it's just prettier. Like women want it. Also during the pandemic, people stopped wearing makeup. Like they'll maybe draw on their brows, you know what I mean? Maybe do a little mascara, but like people just started like doing a little self-care, outrageous amounts of self-care at first in terms of skincare, but a lot of people scaled it down to like what works for them in real life. So
for sure. I feel like I beat myself today because I knew I was going to see you, but I really scaled it back. I mean, it used to take me an hour to get ready, and that's including a shower. And now including a shower, I'm done in 30 minutes.
That's amazing.
And I think that like the pandemic really did that for me, because there are days that I'll leave the house, with nothing but my brows on and like a little blush or something and like chapstick.
Blush is my favorite thing.
Always blush. Like I remember we like kikied on that because I would like always have blush on. You're like, you love your blush. And I'm like, I do. Like
it changed, especially on stage.
Yeah. Oh, for sure on stage, but in real life too. Like I'll see like women out sometimes. I'm like, just a lip, just it looks so natural.
And also like when we're out and about, we're usually stressed or like laser focused. So we don't always look, just a little blush.
Yeah. Just a little bit, just,
or a lot of it.
Or yeah, whatever you are vibing on. Women's health is extremely important to me, and I think modern fertility is one of the most exciting, accessible new advancements to come out in recent years to help us really understand our bodies more. Whether you're ready to pop out a mini-me like yesterday, or the thought of being someone's parent after the night you had last night seems light years away, knowledge is power. Understanding how our bodies work to better be able to prepare for the future and take better care of ourselves right now is game-changing. Modern fertility doesn't just offer fertility testing. It also offers birth control, prenatal vitamins, ovulation and pregnancy tests, and just launched a sperm kit, because fertility isn't just a woman's job, okay? So click the link in the show notes for $10 off your modern fertility hormone test and join the thousands of women who refuse to let fertility be a mystery. Now, back to the show. In terms of fun now, but maybe it wasn't fun in the moment, have you ever had any like makeup emergencies where like you've lost your kit while traveling or stuff has like exploded or you just like didn't have the right shades for someone or I
One
don't know.
time I was covering a client for Denica. I go to her house and I'm unpacking my makeup. I forgot all my eyeshadows.
Oh no.
So I basically did her makeup with pencils.
You're like, no, this is like the new cool thing that like all the MUAs are
Luckily, I
doing.
have so many pencils like matte brown and like, oh, I was just like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. It was stressful. I never did her again, obviously. But I mean, she looked great.
Yeah.
It looked fine, but it was just, she wears those big lashes anyway. So it's like you
Mhm.
could do the most intricate thing on her eyes and you
You
put
can't
those
see the
lashes
lids.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I've forgotten like lashes sometimes, but there's usually like a client will have them. But like my kit's like 75 pounds because I don't ever want to be in. I work with people now, and I've seen hair people
Mm,
and stylists that didn't bring something they need.
mm,
And it doesn't make an artist or anyone freak out, but it just puts a like ugh in the day.
yeah.
And I don't want to put an ugh in a day. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my kit is heavy. I'm like, what if today, especially now that I'm working with some actors
Hmm.
and like less music focused, I don't know them that well.
Mm,
And the cool thing about actors is you work for them for like a week or two
hmm.
while they're doing press on a movie,
Hmm.
and then they go away and film again.
Hmm.
When you're working with somebody with music, you're working with them on months on end. And I don't tour anymore, but it's
Okay.
just like promo, music videos, interviews, photo shoots, all the stuff that it takes to promote an album, which I love. But I also like, I'm liking working with a whole bunch of newer people.
Mm,
Kind of cool.
yeah.
And like, it's intriguing to me. Like,
Yeah.
did you see Bodies, Bodies, Bodies?
I don't know. I don't think so.
So I worked with this girl a couple of times, this young woman, Rachel Sano, before I saw the movie. And then I saw the movie. I'm like, oh my God, she's so good. And then I worked with a couple of people from Yellow Jackets
Hmm.
before I even saw it. One of them was this woman, Tawny Cypress, who's like villainous in the show as it
Hmm.
goes on. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I did her makeup before I saw the show.
Right.
Because it's like these people are so talented. Like it's so cool. Like obviously I know music people are talented. And I mean, even when I was on the Banger tour, no matter how tired I was, every night I would walk out to the C stage
Hmm.
to hear her sing a cappella
Yeah.
because I just love talent. I
Mm.
love female vocalists in a way that like I loved doing Billy's music videos because I loved hearing the songs before they came out.
Mm. Yeah,
And you
that's
hear them
cool.
over and over and over and over because you're doing a video.
Yeah.
And I'm in awe of people's talents, like
Yeah.
literally in awe. So
No,
I'm still a
yeah, it's
fan.
incredible.
I'm still a huge, like Gracie Abrams, I work with too. I'm such a fan of her.
Hmm.
And I did her makeup before I really heard her music because she hadn't had anything out yet.
Mm.
And with Billie, I did her makeup before I heard her music because it was like the night before.
Yeah.
I heard Ocean Eyes because that was out or something. But I'm such a fan of also my clients of
Mm.
their work. I don't do men's grooming anymore. I'm
Hmm.
just not, it's not my tea. I do not like it.
Hmm.
But I love talented women. I love vocalists. Like I just love cool chicks. Like there's this woman, Lauren Elizabeth Ash, that I've done a few times. I do Jennifer Tilly when I can.
Nice.
I'm upset. Like she's the coolest.
That's cool.
She's like Jennifer Tilly's amazing, and she has amazing stories, and she's so warm and kind and like authentically hilarious. And what people don't know is she's like one of the most successful female poker players in the. Did you know that?
No,
So
I did not. That's
her
pretty
man,
crazy.
her man is one of the most successful poker players, and she is one of the most successful female poker players in the world.
Really?
So she not only acts, she took up poker, and she happens to be amazing at
Like
it. Like,
crush. Yeah.
so it's like her story. She's like in Vegas playing poker for a week. And then she's flying to Italy to go to the automotive fashion shows, like sitting front row, because she also loves fashion. And then she goes and films like the Chucky series. Like she's just incredible, like just interesting and fun, and love it.
I love it. Well, listen, it sounds like all those ladies love you back. So I feel like you've carved out a really cool niche for yourself. Like what would you say is the best part of being a makeup artist, and also maybe like the hardest or worst part? If there is a worst part.
The
Maybe.
best part is working with people that you really also really respect. And the interaction and the conversations. The worst part is rejection. Because there's constant rejection and scrutiny. That's really it. The business side, I could like, it's so gross. I mean, my agents are amazing. They're not gross, but just like there's a business side to everything. And I try to forget that part as best I can.
Yeah. I mean, preach for sure. For sure. I mean, and I'm sure you've seen it a lot in music, being around music so much too, like that. Ugh. Both sides of it. What do you do to kind of, I'm using quotes here, balance the intensity of working in an industry like this?
Like none of my friends, except for Denica, care about makeup. They're excited for me if I get a cover, but they're not like crazy.
They don't want to talk
shop. Friends that have known me forever, that knew me when I was so struggling, are super proud of me. But I don't have any friends because I'm because of whatever successes or whatever I have. Like if that makes sense. I didn't pick up any new friends along the way because of what I'm doing. My friends have been my friends when, you know what I mean? Like,
forever.
It's what it is, forever. Like, my family is excited for me because they've known my struggles. I've been sober for 27 years. So people that have known me are excited for whatever successes I have, but they're also not impressed by whatever successes I have.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Like I'm going to try to work harder this year because my medical insurance went up to $900. You know what I mean? Like I literally, so it's like, it's not like I'm just doing the best that I can with what is in front of me. And if you just look at Instagram, you think it's like way cooler than it is, but it's just, I'm lucky to get to do what I love to do. I still struggle with like, oh my God, I have to like work really hard just to pay my insurance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Like just like regular. It also, like, I just want to put this out here. A lot of these cool young actresses that I work with, they're on like Netflix, HBO, Hulu shows. Those are amazing opportunities, but a lot of those girls still live in apartments too. You know what I mean? Like, they're the opportunities. Like, I love all of these new streaming platforms because it's giving people jobs. And there's been creative, amazing things have been made on those platforms, and they give me jobs because there needs to be premieres and photo shoots and stuff like that. But like the day of the movie star is like just way different now. It's not like that anymore. A lot of these girls are just like me. Like my makeup's not rented. It's most of it's given to me, even though I spend thousands a year on makeup. Don't be fooled by the Instagram. Like I wish if I could have anything, Instagram would go away. Not go away. But like it wouldn't have transferred into what it is.
Yeah.
But a lot of these young women you see that are like doing these cool roles on shows, they're living in apartments too. Like they're struggling to pay their insurance too. Like they get a certain amount of budget. Like HBO will be like, you get this much to pay hair, makeup, and styling. And unless you're a Nepo baby, you have to like, oh my God, am I going to style myself, or am I going to do my own hair? Or because like this money is not enough to cover everything.
Also, I don't know if it works the same way for actors, but even for music, it works this way with some of the streaming platforms, and also with this production company that the podcast is with, that my partner and I started. We just signed a production deal with another production company to shop shows and stuff. And some of these streaming platforms, it's just a flat rate payout. So you're not seeing residuals in the way that like you used to see residuals when a show would air. For music, you're not seeing residuals in the way that you would if you had a theme song on a TV show in the 90s. Like that doesn't exist anymore. It's like, here's like 10 grand for a song in a major spot, and we're paying you one time. And you're just like, I- what? But it's so competitive that they can do that. And yeah, I don't know if it translates the same way for actors. But yeah, it definitely seems like a way more complicated pay scale at this point, like for everybody in entertainment, from actors, like stars of shows, all the way down to like who's doing the music for it, who's styling, who's doing makeup, like who's the production company, the small production companies that are like selling these shows. Yeah, entertainment has definitely become way more layered. What do you see your future like in makeup based on just like what you love doing about it, but also just like how the industry seems to continually shift?
I want to win the lottery and I want to open it. This is really what my dream in life is
Hmm.
to own a recovery center for drugs and alcohol
Mm.
and include animal therapy
Mm.
with rescue organization.
I love that.
Meaning like there's so many animals that need to be fostered before they
Yes.
go home.
Yes.
Like that's my ultimate. Makeup is so fun and I love it and it pays my bills and it has given me opportunities I've never had. I'm just a poor white boy from a small town. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
In terms of what are my dreams for makeup, just to keep working and having fun and making enough money to have some money in my bank. I've given up the idea of being a homeowner in Los Angeles. Like it's just too stressful
It's
to be,
insane.
it's insane. But just make people happy and make myself happy and be around people that are kind and supportive. And that being said, like we all have shitty days. So also, I don't know, just giving people a pass and like that kind of stuff. But like my ultimate real life dream has nothing to do with makeup.
Yeah. I love that so much. Have you started taking steps towards that yet? Or is that more in like a few
It's
years sort
it's
of thing?
I have to work out what I'm doing right now first, but like
Mm.
that would be like whenever I bring it up to people, they're like, I don't know about that.
What?
And I'm just like, I think it's amazing.
I do
It gives
too.
people responsibility.
Yeah.
And it also helps these animals that need fostering until they're
Hmm.
okay to go into homes.
Yes. Oh, it's I mean, there's like multiple wins there for
Yeah.
sure. I think it's a fantastic idea. Like, it reminds me
It also
actually.
teaches you like just because you're helping somebody doesn't mean they're yours. You know
Mm,
what I mean? Like you're not helping to get, you need to learn how to give without having to receive.
give to give.
Like,
Yeah.
especially being like, if somebody's sober, like when you're an addict, you take so much.
Mm,
You have to relearn things. And I think, I don't know, for me anyway, I mean, I'm animal crazy though. Like,
same.
the soothing energy and knowing that my cat, like this morning, like Earl, my cat wakes me up, both of them. Doris is at the end of the bed and Earl does the dirty work by tapping me in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, as tired as I could be, it brings me joy. Like it's not all about me.
They really are the best. Like, I think getting a dog, I think, was one of the best things I've ever done. He's sleeping at my feet right now. It's one of the best things I've ever done. I feel like just being in music, especially when I was still pursuing being an artist, there's so much self-centeredness to that you have to have, because no one's going to do it for you. So it's like it has to be at the top of your mind, like the first thing you wake up thinking about, the last thing you think about going to sleep, like every single day. And getting him was like, hey, there's like a whole other world happening outside of your brain and like the things you're working towards.
Yeah.
And this thing needs you to take care of it.
And
And
they
if
don't care if you got signed or didn't get signed,
no,
or if you lost that client or you
mm-mm,
got that client, or if you loved the makeup or hated it. They just want you to love them so they can love you back and they want to
yeah,
eat whatever they don't
yeah,
care.
exactly. And they want
Like,
like infinite cuddles. I don't know about
yes,
the cats, but I know he wants
like
cuddles all the
Earl
time.
could be brushed 24 hours a day. Doris hates it. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
just like, I know it sounds like I don't want to start my own brand. There's
Hmm.
enough brands out there. I mean, I do have some dream clients,
Hmm.
but also like what usually ends up happening is I'm so surprised with the clients that I get.
Mm,
They're so fun.
mm.
Like most things in life, I don't know what's best for me until I try something. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? What I think what I've thought would be the best for my career. I mean, nobody knew who Billie was for the first year and a half I worked with her. I'd be like, oh, she's amazing. And they're like, yeah, whatever. And now like people are like still DMing me, can you get an autograph? And she doesn't do that. And I don't ask my clients for that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you know how it is. It's like, even though I've worked with her a long time, I still work for her.
Yeah.
Like, I like that. I'm not friends with any of my clients outside of her.
No, I mean, I have pictures of me with people I've worked for, but I've never asked anyone I've worked for a picture together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that always has, I think like what we do, they're supporting roles, right? Like you're there to support that person.
Yes.
And I think trying to take any opportunity to make it about you is not in the job description.
It also breaks the trust of the person you've been working with forever.
Yeah.
I've seen it in front of my own eyes.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
It can be the silliest request. And then it just, the change of the look on the client's face, or it's just like they start seeing themselves as a product through your eyes.
Yeah.
Our industry's so fucking weird.
It is. Entertainment is it's wild, and it's a roller coaster, and it's amazing, and it's awful, and but I'm so grateful that I get to meet cool people like you, and it's been so cool to just kind of watch everything you've been doing from Miley to now, and just I didn't know a lot of your story prior to Miley, so to hear that has been really cool too, and I think it will be really helpful for anyone just kind of striking out on their own, maybe doing something freelance, and like hearing your journey with how things just kind of organically evolved in the work that you've put in. And it's been so awesome talking with you, Rob. Thank you so much. Man, I'm so happy I was able to nail Rob down in between the insanity of his award season schedule. Touring is such a crazy thing in that you spend so much time with people for so long, and then it's just like you don't see them sometimes ever after that. So it was so nice to reconnect with him after not getting to hang out for a long time. And it was just so good. But I hope this episode was insightful for anyone who's interested in pursuing a career in makeup. And at the very least, if you take nothing else away from this episode, wear blush, damn it. Okay? It will improve your life. It will make you look alive and thriving and beautiful, honey. Okay. If you want to keep up with all the incredible looks Rob is serving us, you can follow him on Instagram at Rob Rumsey MUA, and that's Rob R-O-B Rumsey RUMSEY MUA. That makeup artist. Obvi. If you want to keep up with me and the pod, you can follow me on Instagram at Danny Official, and Danny is DAANI Official, and over on TikTok at FTFE Pod, First Time for Everything Pod. If you enjoyed today's episode and have a spare second, it'd be super cool if you could rate, review, and subscribe to the show because it helps people find us. And First Time for Everything is produced by Two Sheilas Productions, and our theme song, Closer, is sung by me, written by me and my friends in the Royal Foundry, and produced by the Royal Foundry. Thank you guys so much for listening, and remember, it's never too late for your first time.